Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm your host, Avery Cooper. Your stream co-sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. I'm on the phone here with Jack Meyers. He's the Social Security Administration Public Affairs Specialist. Welcome back to the program, Jack.
Hey, thanks, Avery. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you back here, as always, Jack. Now, new year and maybe a new family member. What can folks do if they're expecting a baby?
Yeah, you know what, Avery? One of the things that you have to think about if you're expecting a baby is getting the child's social security number. Now, I know among all of the exciting things that welcoming a new baby to your family includes, the social security number may not be that high on the list, but actually it is a pretty important one. So, I have a little bit of a tip for you on how to do that simply so you get that important business taken care of, but you don't take up a lot of your time or take away from your time with that new little one. The easiest way to do it is right there at the hospital. So if your child is born in a hospital and you are filling out the paperwork for the birth certificate, there will be a question about, do you want to apply for the social security number? And all you have to do is say yes to that question. There might be a few other questions. I think, ask for mother and father's social security numbers. You can even complete that if you don't know both of the parents' social security numbers. So that's not going to stop you. But answer yes to that, whether you're filling something out yourself or somebody from the hospital staff is going through that process with you. Just make sure you look for that question about the child's social security card, because that is by far the easiest way to do it. And what happens next, Avery, is once the state of Illinois creates the birth certificate for your baby, then they will electronically submit that information to us at Social Security, and we will create the social security number, and then we'll mail out a social security card to you, on behalf of your baby at whatever address you gave to the hospital. So, if you happen to move in between when you get that card and when you get discharged from the hospital, the Postal Service will forward it as long as you put a forwarding order in. So that's very important. Make sure you do that. And then that new card will show up for you, and you don't have to go to a Social Security office or call a Social Security office and mail stuff to a Social Security office to get that taken care of. It's, like I said, far and away the easiest way to complete that application for your child's Social Security number.
This may seem like a rudimentary question, perhaps, but why does my baby need a Social Security number?
You know what? That's not a rudimentary question at all, and it's a pretty common one. And in fact, not that long ago, it wasn't all that common to apply for the Social Security number right at your child's birth. But nowadays, there are a lot of reasons why you need it right off the bat. Just to name a few, if you want to claim your child as a dependent on your tax return, you're going to need the Social Security number. If you want to open a bank account for your child, you need a Social Security number. If you or a family member wants to buy savings bonds for your child, I know in some families that's a tradition. So you need a Social Security number for that to purchase those savings bonds for them. You also need it most of the time now for medical insurance. So if you want to put your child on your medical insurance, you're going to need the Social Security number. And then for a lot of government assistance programs. So if you're applying for any kind of government assistance for your child, you're going to need the Social Security number there too. So there are a lot of reasons why you'll need that number right off the bat. And like I said, doing the application at the hospital in conjunction with the application for the birth certificate is by far the easiest way to do it. Right now in Illinois, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get the Social Security card if you do it that way. So about 3 to 4 weeks after your child's born, you should get that card in the mail.
Is there anything else we should know about signing or assigning a social security number to a newborn baby?
One other thing, Avery, that I'll mention, and this is something that I will say almost have to describe this anecdotally because I
Mhm.
don't know that it's an across the board thing. In fact, I know it's probably not an across the board thing, but we have heard stories from parents who call and say they didn't get their child's social security number in the mail, and the common theme in those calls is often that the child has a different name than anybody else in the house. So if your child has a different last name than you and there's nobody else in your name or in your household that has that last name, you might consider letting the post office know that your child is living with you now or putting the child's name on the mailbox. We have heard in certain circumstances that that can cause a problem with delivery of the Social Security card. But as I said, it's not going to be a problem all the time. I know that for a fact. I know a lot of people still get the card in that scenario, but just something you might want to be aware of if that is your situation.
So let's shift away from having children to maybe let's go to the other end of the life spectrum. Perhaps I am collecting Social Security for any reason, right? And I need a little bit of help managing my Social Security. Does the Social Security Administration have a program for that?
We do, Avery, and it's interesting how you phrase that because that's one of the things that we talk about a lot at Social Security is that we're with you through life's journey, and these two subjects are kind of good representations of that because we go from talking about the Social Security number and card right at birth to now towards the latter stages of life when maybe a person needs some assistance helping them manage their social security funds. And, we kind of think of older individuals, but it's not always older individuals, of course. There are sometimes younger individuals who have disabilities that make it difficult for them to manage their affairs. And, whatever the cause is, if a person is receiving social security and they have trouble managing their funds, we have a program called the Representative Payee Program. And the idea of this program is that a person can be assigned by us as your payee to help you manage your social security funds, to help you, make sure that your needs are met. Now, the payee will receive your monthly benefit on your behalf, but it remains your money. So they are required to use that money for you for your current needs. With that in mind, they should be someone who's close to you that you trust that and kind of knows what your needs are. Somebody that you see on a regular basis or communicate with on a regular basis, so they know what you need and can help you get that. And like I said, we will assign that individual. There's an application process. So if a person wants to be payee for you, they apply with us, and then we first go through a process to determine if you need a payee. Oftentimes, that'll involve a form that goes out to your doctor, many times a conversation with you. Then we'll also determine if the applicant is a good choice to be your payee. So, we've got to work on those two things. Do you need one? Is this person a good choice? And then once we've gone through that process, we can name them the payee. If there's not a family member or a friend who's well suited to serve as your payee, there are social service agencies, nursing homes, other organizations, and things like that that often apply to be payee. So it's not always just an individual. Sometimes it's an organization.
Okay, so where can someone go to learn more about this Payee program?
So we've got a lot of information about the Payee program on our website. So if you want to go to the Social Security website, which is ssa.gov, you can look up information about the Representative Payee program. You could read a little bit about becoming a payee. You could read about having a payee. So you can get some information there. And then there's also something that's kind of newish, if you will. It's been around for a while now, but it's called advanced designation. And basically what that is it's a way for somebody when they start to receive Social Security or after they're already receiving Social Security, where you can go in and you can say, you know what, I'm fine now. I don't need any help now. But what if I do someday? If I ever do, I think I want to designate this person and maybe this person as my potential representative payee. So you could identify for us the people that you would like to be your payee down the road if you ever need one. Now there's only going to be one payee, but what you could do is you could give us a first choice and a second choice or something like that. It's certainly not something you have to do, but it is something that you can do, and you can do that through our website at ssa.gov. What you do is you'd create your own personal My Social Security account, or you'd log into your account if you already have one, and then look for advanced designation where you could set that up. If you don't have an account, you don't want to do it online, you could also just give us a call at 800-772-1213, and we could talk through how to appoint someone as as a future representative payee should the need ever arise.
You're listening to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper on the phone with Social Security Administration Public Affairs Specialist Jack Meyers. More from Jack after this. Your stream co-sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark.
Check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network on this Tuesday. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn slightly higher, beans lower, wheat trading higher. March corn 623 3/4, up 2 3/4. May corn up 2 3/4, 620 1/4. December corn 568 1/4, up 3/4. March beans 13.99 1/2, down 3 1/2. May beans down 2 3/4, 1408 1/4. November beans 1308 1/4, up 3/4. March wheat 814 1/2, up 14. May wheat up 13 1/2, 817 1/2. July wheat 803 1/2, up 11 1/4. March bean meal 391.60, down 230. March bean oil up 29 cents, 62.26. In the livestock market at this hour, February live cattle 136.05, down 27 cents. January feeders up 2 cents, 158.50, and February lean hogs 87.42. That's up $1.10. That's a look at the markets on this Tuesday morning. I'm Jim Taylor with the RFD Radio.
All Rick and Kathy White, owners of Taylorville Home Source, can say is, wow!
They're so excited about the area's response to their new expanded location at 1316 East Park, next to the driver's license office.
People from as far away as Litchfield and south of Shelbyville have come to Taylorville Home Source to see their expanded choices for your kitchen, bathroom, and floor.
With bigger displays and more selection.
Stop in and see your expanded local design center, Taylorville Home Source, now at 1316 East Park, next to the driver's license office.
Your nonprofit organization can attract people to your fundraising event by reaching our 7 groups of listeners and readers. Hi, I'm Teresa Nelson, an account manager here at Miller Media Group. Part of my job is helping nonprofit organizations promote their activities. We offer our lowest rate for radio commercials and offer 1 free ad for each ad purchased, plus a discounted rate on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Find out more on our Miller Media Group nonprofit advertising campaigns by contacting me, Teresa Nelson, 824-3395. That's 824-3395.
The Miller Media Group is looking for someone who's local in sales and wants to advance their career. We have an immediate opening for an account executive who understands the importance of small businesses to our local economy. Just bring your sales expertise to us and we'll train you with above average pay along the way. Prove yourself to us and you could be promoted to sales manager for our radio group with a great compensation package. It all starts with an email to sales@randyradio.com. That's sales@randyradio.com. We're an equal opportunity employer.
This is Jenny Turvey, manager of Rolling Meadows Senior Living in Taylorville. To learn more about our apartments, click on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
They've got the loan you need at First National Bank in Taylorville. First, every time. Find out the loan products they offer by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show, your stream co-sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. I'm your host, Avery Cooper. Jack Meyers is a Social Security Administration public affairs specialist, and he's here to talk about, well, all the things going on with Social Security. One of the things that many Americans most recently did or are in the process of doing is applying for Medicare. And oftentimes, you think of that as something that you do when you're ready to retire, but you don't, if I understand right, you don't have to be ready to retire, right, Jack?
That's right, Avery. And you know what? There's a little bit of a disconnect nowadays between the full retirement age for Social Security benefits and the Medicare age, because it used to be many years ago that age 65 was the age that you could get your full Social Security, and that coincided with Medicare. And then they changed that back in the 80s. They gradually increased that full retirement age to 67. And so now we're getting into where people have full retirement ages of 66 plus, or maybe even 67, but that Medicare age is still 65. So if you're interested in waiting, and that's your personal choice, whatever makes the most sense for you. But if you are interested in waiting until age 66 and a half or 67 or whatever the case may be to collect your retirement benefits, understand that your Medicare age is still 65. And if you want to get started on Medicare, you can still do that at 65. And you can do that application right through our website at ssa.gov. And then on the application, you just have a question that says, do you want to apply for Medicare only and not retirement benefits? If you say, yes, that's what you want to do, then you can proceed and apply for Medicare only.
Tax season right around the corner. Actually, well, it's here. Tax season, it's here. So what, in terms of Social Security, should people be on the lookout for?
Yeah, so what you should be seeing from Social Security, if you received benefits from Social Security in 2021, you should be seeing what we call an SSA 1099. That is a statement of how much money you got from Social Security in 2021. That should be hitting your mailboxes very soon if it hasn't already done so. After so basically next week, so after February 1st, you'll be able to go into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov and get a replacement 1099 for 2021. So that's not there yet, but it'll be there starting next week. And just a reminder, if you get Supplemental Security Income, which is SSI, and you don't get Social Security, we don't send 1099s for SSI because SSI benefits are not taxable. So the only time you should be expecting a 1099 from us is if you received Social Security benefits in the prior year. So like I said, that should be on its way. If it's not already there, you should get it very soon. And starting next week, you can get your replacement in your My Social Security account at ssa.gov.
Jack, less than a minute for you until you've got to go. Any other thoughts or parting words that you'd like to share with the public?
Well, just a reminder, Avery, that you can get in touch with us by calling us. Our national toll-free number is 800-772-1213. Our Springfield office phone number is 877-279-9504. You can also fax us in Springfield at 833-950-2504. And then we've always got that website, www.ssa.gov.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join the WTIM Morning Show, Jack.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure, Avery.
Take care.
You too.
That was Jack Meyers, the Social Security Administration Public Affairs Specialist on the WTIM Morning Show. Your stream co-sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241.